I'm ready.
Ready to roll.
I hope Gajir's not finished with his game already.
He's about to be. He's about to be.
First round against Kadir.
And welcome everyone to the Mechanics Institute. Round one of the Thursday night marathon online on chess.com. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me on the broadcast is three-time U.S. champion Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. How's it going, guys?
Hanging in there. I'm watching a Calvin Klein ad or something on
Calvin
Twitch.
Klein. There. Well, that's better than some of the other ones we've heard that people have to watch, like Buffalo Wild Wings or other.
And it's like, every day you wake up with this choice: Fruit of the Loom, Calvin Klein. What are you going to do?
And actually, right before we started the broadcast, you were saying, is Gadir done with his game? He is now done with the game, and you're looking at the final position right here. Uh, and
Coach Joe F, huh?
yeah,
Got
Coach
slaughtered.
Joe got coached. But I mean, it's a tall order because since we are in the first round of the Thursday night marathon, and actually, I'm gonna put the link to the Thursday night marathon in the Twitch chat so you can see the pairings for the first round and who's playing. Because it's a first round open tournament, you're gonna have some mismatches. In the first round or two, where you're gonna see some underdogs getting their shot, and Coach Joe got his shot, but unfortunately did not work out. This is Joseph Flowers.
Shall we look at the game, Nick? Can you play through the game a little bit?
Yeah,
Kind
absolutely.
of slowly and
So Joseph Flowers rated 1494, playing Grandmaster Gadir Gusainov.
Oh,
And,
because Coach Joe is only 795 on the online rating.
oh yeah, and he probably just established an account,
all
actually.
right, slow down here now. At 92 for white didn't look too good. Yeah, the white's losing a piece here,
Right.
and the 92 move was a real silly move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so this is just over
yeah,
now.
and the rest is just gravy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And board two is done also. Let's go to that game and let's start at the top. This is International Master Balachandra Dulipala against Aaron Craig, mechanics player. So let's take a look at
Yeah, let's see how this one went down.
Bet this was a better fight.
everything looking solid so far, right?
Yeah.
Queen D7, not so good. Probably Queen C8 is better, but
Oh,
what do I know?
there we go. That
Blunder,
the
another piece blundered.
Uh,
the
Yeah,
95 relieved Aaron
yeah.
Craig of his knight, and I think the rest just
The rest is history. Yeah, and
it's wow. Look at that.
White even sacked the piece back just to get a
Look,
crushing
look at
game.
that. Look at that attack right there. So Balachandra, moving on. Board three is finished as well. This is
Jeez.
FIDE Master Ezra Chambers playing Jimmy Gray, 1442 rated, and let's see this onslaught, which was quick. And the opening ode to our chief tournament director Judith Stare, who's manually pairing and starting the games. It says the Italian game, Hungarian defense.
Okay,
So let's take a look
that's
at.
Bishop E7 against Bishop C4, right?
it's these first rounds of the Thursday night marathon. They remind me a lot about the Roman Colosseum. And
Right, so the
they'd start
gladiators.
they'd start the games off, and they also had sort of one-sided situations there.
And look at it's just ripping open the king side here.
Oh, and seizing those dark squares.
This is pretty bad.
Yeah, that tells the tale. That's FIDE Master Ezra Chambers taking care of business quick. Right there.
Wow.
So some quick games. Board 4, Max Gadajlovic got a forfeit win because his opponent did not make it for whatever reason. So, but on board 5, we have Sunny Liu, Catherine Sunny Liu, 1390, but she is a rising, developing player. She's playing Shield Dandekar, 2034 USCF rated, and here is the game.
So this is the rating plunge from Gadaljevic down to the next player is huge.
Like 250 points or so, yeah.
Wow. So no Michael Walder and no Elliot Winslow.
Elliott, yeah, no Walder, no Elliott.
So we've got a massive. We've got the top 4 players are outranking the rest by over like 200 points.
And it looks like there was a nice little tactic here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is a bit unusual too. If pawn takes bishop, queen takes knight, followed by knight f3 check. Very nice.
So then Sunny Liu plays knight e4.
Nice tactic by black there.
And until that time, the game looked solid both ways, right? Right before that.
I didn't see the position right before that.
It was
or the
basically
position.
like this, right?
Yeah, so we have this. Okay, so black dissolves the isolated queen pawn, and white mistakenly played bishop f3, and black didn't respond as white expected, and white got the worst game and then lost the pawn. So that went by quite quickly.
Yeah, so we'll see how this game plays out, but it looks like the favorite, Shield Dandekar, is doing all right. And thank you to, we got a follow from someone.
What is a mystery gift sub?
I think that's when you give a subscription to someone.
Nice.
So
Tobiah
fantastic.
Rack.
Oh, Tobiah, thank you for the great
Tobiah the
boomer.
king. Tobiah the king.
For the
Well, knight d3 is going to win another pawn, probably. White is in serious trouble here.
Not looking good, but let's check out the next board. Stuart Katz from Sacramento is playing white against Steven Sykes, Rain Dog. Looks like white is up a pawn. And has
Yeah, that looks like a good solid pawn.
And then the king's in the center of the board.
Certainly white is better here.
Stewart looking solid.
You know, Nick, people don't realize just how tough the life of a chess commentator is, you know? mean,
I know
we
you're
have to-
suffering to bring us quality, Paul.
Yeah, we have to, you know, it pains us to inflict such criticism on players, you know?
And sometimes there's some level where you gotta make watching paint dry look fun, right? And you know, sometimes you get those games where, you know, how am I gonna make this fun and interesting for the fans, right? And you know, you gotta work your magic.
Yeah, I guess in most any sport, you have these moments where things just don't happen.
So we're trying to find out, will there be an opportunity for an underdog to come out on top in the first round. So we have not found it yet. So we have this game with Austin Jin playing white, 13-18 rated against Robert Turner. So potentially this could be one of the games. Because Robert Turner's 1853 playing black.
Now, why does his name say Robert Smith?
Because that is his name, Robert Smith.
Oh, so he's not Robert Turner.
Oh, no. It's his username's M.A. Turner. But that is Robert Smith playing black against Austin Jin.
Oh.
Did I say Robert
Okay.
Turner? Maybe I said it wrong. But that's Robert Smith playing black, 1853 rated against Austin Jin, who's 13-18 rated, who's playing white. And
Yeah, really, really good for the white side.
definitely looking more active.
I'm trying to register an account with Twitch so that I can
Get in the chat.
get in the chat.
Yeah.
Right? See if it works.
Are you going to be the chess monster?
I don't know. I guess I'm Paul. I'm on my Facebook. Oh, they won't let me do it. I'm gonna have to do it some other time.
You're they ban you. They're not going to let you make an
I don't
account.
know. There's something about Twitch and Facebook not working together or something. I don't know.
Huh. Well, we're looking at chess appeals now. Kevin Fong playing white. He's 1750 USCF against Ian Lau. He's 1161 USCF, but he's a scholastic player, getting stronger.
He's playing a great game, really
Rook D8's a
solid.
good move. White has to play Rook D5 here to probably try to get anything.
Yeah, if he allows just a trade down, well, there's nothing at all for the white side. Rook D5, as you say. Oh, he traded.
Did it?
Well, he could play Queen D8 and then Queen D5.
Ah, but
Then, yeah, then Queen D6. Even that weakness probably isn't enough for White to win, right?
It almost seems like the Queen D5 after Queen D8 looks pretty good. Really opens up that diagonal for the bishop.
That's if Black takes, but Black could play Queen D6 maybe, and allow White to take on D6. That backward pawn doesn't mean that much, I don't think.
And the great boomers hanging out in the chat.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to do this.
Paul is determined. And players, welcome to the broadcast of the Thursday Night Marathon, but the Mechanics Institute Tuesday Night Marathon starts round 1 next Tuesday. So if you want to come live to the Mechanics Institute and be a part of the tradition, I have put the link in the chat. Register 2 sections, 1800 plus and under 1800. 7 rounds, FIDE rated, all sections. The Tuesday Night Marathon, round 1, begins next Tuesday. We are in round 1 of the Thursday Night Marathon online right here. So far, of all the games finished, the higher rated players have handled their business, but
Yeah, it's they're just doing it to everybody.
yes, and Gadir, who had to wake up at 5 in the morning or 4:30, I'm not quite sure when it was in Baku. It's well, he was able to finish and go back to sleep quickly.
yes, he was.
What time is it there again?
Isn't it like 9 or 10 hours?
I think it's 10 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, of
I'm gonna
all
have to get back on Twitch. I see that.
literally of all the games finished, all the favorites have won, which is expected, especially with the rating disparity of the players that we have. But we do have some close games, and if I'm right, there's 4 games remaining in the round. And the Great Boomer, I am an SF for work, a single TNM. Great question. Definitely come if you're available for like a game because we're usually looking for a house player. So just come on down on Tuesday night if you want a game because more often than not, we're able to plug you in for an extra rated game. So come on down. Like when like a pizza place will sell by the slice, we can sell by the game. So just come on down. But email us, chessroom at milibrary.org. Send us an email of when you're going to come just so that we can make sure you get your USCF memberships in order. We know you're coming, and then we can be on the lookout. Because other players do the same. They reach out and say, hey, would I be able to get a house game, etc. And we'll put you in for sure. Let's take a look at Stuart Katz's game. He's still looking pretty solid with white.
Okay, I'm determined to do this.
Now, are you going to insult people when you're able to get on the chat? I'm wondering. You had just said it. Life of a chess commentator is hard because you have to be blunt and honest, and maybe Twitch and Facebook heard you.
Yeah, and then Judith will have to moderate you, like delete the comment or something. Wow, look at this is sort of the game to follow. Look at Austin Jin here, just kind of advancing.
Ooh, that's a knockout blow, folks. That give up the C pawn so the B pawn can reincarnate.
And there's
And
not,
that's
yeah, there's not even like an opportunity for black to mix it up with anything.
no checkmates or anything. And that pawn's going to cost a whole rook. So, oh, I'm sorry, Robert Smith. That looks like the end.
Fine game by Austin Jin here. And I'm pretty sure Austin's a scholastic player. You got to watch out for these because I mean these scholastic players, they're training tactics like nonstop.
All right, I did it. I think I'm in the chat.
And Judith's in the chat. Say hi.
I'm doing that, seeing if it works.
We hear you typing. It's like you're doing the one
I
finger.
did it. I am Romkatsky.
Romkatsky. All right.
Wonderful name, but why Romkatsky?
Pablo in.
Well, I have a daughter named Romilly and a daughter named Katya. So,
There you go. There's
so
not.
now I can as long as I can remember my username and password, I can start hanging out in the chat.
And hello to Judith Starry, who is starting all the games. And she'll be starting round 2 at 8 p.m. Although it looks like these games may end very early. And Austin Jin gets it done. Congratulations. Big round 1 win.
Wow, nice upset there.
And here we are with Kevin Fong.
Yeah, Kevin, you've got a very tough end game to try to win.
So who do you think has got more opportunities in an end game like this? The knight, the bishop, too close to call?
Um, usually a bishop's a little better than a knight, but with all the pawns on black, the knight is at least as good as the bishop here.
So Romkatsky, whoever that is really liking the commentary. He probably would recommend us for
I
what's
wonder who that feller is, that misguided feller.
we should get a Emmy for our the quality of our work.
There's this game that Fisher beat. Gosh, who was it? Somebody in a night ending. It was just fantastic. Fisher for once had the night and just played it so. It was like this, an even pawn sort of situation. Um, and Fisher just played this beautiful night ending, destroyed his opponent. Can't remember what the game is though
So,
offhand.
so no pressure on black here is what you're saying to live up to those standards.
This looks level to me.
Yes.
But like, what
It,
would be the idea if you have a knight? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to see if that you can like get white to push the pawns into?
yeah, White has to be careful. White has to be careful not to put all his to play G4 or something in this position, allowing Knight, some dark squares to for Black to get in on. So, but if Black doesn't seem to have any moves that really try to. He could try to play G6 and F5 and then take on E4 and isolate the E4 pawn, and then, but that still might probably wouldn't be enough to make progress.
But now, is there a chance here that black is going to try to take advantage of the king, and because it looks like the king is going to proceed down the dark squares to the other side.
I mean, White will play King E3, and maybe Black can try for G5, H5, and H4. White actually has to be a little careful here, just a little bit. You know, things can get weird all of a sudden in these kind of positions.
And I know we have a lot of players that are 1400 and under, uh, kind of like watching this, but in addition to talking about knight versus bishop, it's where you put the pawns so important, because where you put the pawns dictates the scope and power of the pieces that you have. So pawn placement, very important.
If Black could play pawn H4 here in this position, White might be in some trouble. And in fact, White probably has made a mistake by playing pawn H3. Right, Nick?
Well, okay, you're right. Black would like to take the dark squares, but if Black would play H5, White immediately goes pawn to H4. So
And then if Black plays G5, there's still the unlikely possibility of Black being able to isolate. Yeah, I mean, you have to just figure out what's going to happen there. White would take on G5, and then Black would try to play H5 and H4 again, right? Meanwhile, White's getting play somewhere else, like with King E3 and F4, so it's probably not going to work.
well, both sides should centralize the king. They're better in the center, and then it's the pawn play, yes. And whether the knight can get good squares or the bishop a nice long diagonal.
When you're talking about a bishop and a knight, and say like the pawn placement still neutral, like does one piece have an advantage over the other in terms of forcing pawns onto bad squares? or does that really, is that something that can happen?
Yeah, when it's just one-on-one like this, it's not so much to do. If there were each side had a rook, you might be able to push the pawns more.
What
Um,
if black starts out with G5 here, intending H5 and H4? And see, I'm trying to gain some axes. I guess, what do you think, Nick?
yeah, G5 is a good move. It certainly can't hurt.
See,
And
if white had his pawn on H2, he'd be fine. He wouldn't have to worry about anything. But because the pawn's on H3, white's got these, pawns that can be fixed.
but white can also go bishop to C4. It's
Yeah.
you always have the option to trade off
Trade, yeah.
for that.
That's it.
And in the Twitch chat again, if you want to see the standings, the pairings, and the entries, that is the link you'll follow to keep track of all the action. We got some big September events coming up too. We have our USCF Championship quads, September 11th on a Saturday. We had 40 something for our last quads. It was pretty amazing. And then the following weekend, another 2-day FIDE rated event. That one will be G90 plus 30, September 18th through the 19th, the Howard Donnelly Memorial. But catch up on all the action at the Mechanics Institute by visiting our homepage. That's where to start. milibrary.org/chess. I sound like I'm doing sales, and I guess I sort of am, because I'm trying to get everyone to come to the tournaments.
Those tournaments are doing really well.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and we're having fun over there. 44 for the last quads. Yeah, we were excited because we had an even quad all the way around. 44. Although Judith and I had to both play. Judith and I had to play to step in for players that had to drop out. So, I took a beating. I think Judith took a beating too, but we had fun doing it. So.
Isn't that kind of hard to both play and direct? You're sort of scattered, thinking about one thing. Problems can come up, and
Yeah. It is. I mean, I hate using it as an excuse, but I mean, it is distracting because if something happened, I mean, even during that quad, there was an illegal move on the board, so you have to go over there. You give 2 minutes to the opponent. You have to deal with all that. All the while, your clock's running. Although I do have the option of pausing the clock if I want. I just don't like to do that. So, but I mean, I played 2 kids. They beat me straight up. I had to play.
Oh, wow. That's tough.
I had to play Rohan Rajaram, right? Who's like
Oh, wow.
1900, and
Yep.
he's out around, playing all these big events. And then I played this other player who he looked like he was about like 6 or 7 years old, but he's like 1900. Yeah, I mean these kids are talented and tough. There is one other game going. Let me just go to that real quick. Also an endgame with Bishop and Knight, and Stuart Katz's game.
And speaking of that, the game that I'm going to put it in the as a link, because not only is it a very nice night win of Fischer's versus Sadie. It's Sadie versus Fischer.
Okay, that game.
Yeah, and what's nice about it too is that it is was Fischer's 11th win in his 11-0 win of the U.S. Championship.
And just to explain what elephant, thank you for following mechanics. The chess.com username, because Judith can have it at a setting that shows not your username, but your name or whatever you put in your name field. Because we thought it would be easier because you actually see a player's name if they have their name in that field. But some people, may not have their full name, so that's what it shows. So that's why. Yeah. So what do you think of this? Stuart Cat's up a pawn. He's got the knight. Black's got the bishop.
And White's got those monster advanced pawns.
Yeah.
White wants to play king e5 and d6 check. That's his nefarious
That's very nefarious.
plot.
Yeah.
Knight g5 is a kind of a threat here too, for sure. Black is in trouble.
Now, speaking of nefarious, is there anything here? And by nefarious, is any trickery of just pushing that pawn straight?
Yeah, this is Black's only hope here.
But it looks like the yeah.
But did he have to give up the G pawn to do this? Jeez.
Now
He's always playing A4. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Now White will have 3 passed pawns at some point. Should be good
Oh, wow.
for White.
Oh, that's not doing it for Black.
Yeah, now your lone piece is just tied up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've lost, and you're down 4 pawns on the rest of the board.
Well, you're gonna lose.
Was there a way
another
for
pawn.
Was there a way for Black to maybe finesse that a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot more tricks, as you said.
Yeah. This
On
was
to
too simple.
A4.
Too simple. Of course, White Knight F3 would not be probably that good, but Knight E6 looks great. Yeah.
Knight E6 just wins the sequel.
Yeah. But yeah, Black could have played probably a little more trickier than this.
So yeah. So what elephant must be Coach Joe? Because you said he was. You said he was Gadir's victim.
Oh, really? Well, what a wonderful opportunity to play such a strong player. I mean, this is a good reason to join this tournament. If nothing else, you might play Gadir, one of the top 100 players in the world.
73, I think, number 73 in the world.
I mean, this is fantastic. This is a chapter in mechanics history that we have this grandmaster regularly playing in the Tuesday night marathon. It's unprecedented.
Thursday, Thursday night.
Oh, Thursday sorry, that's right. It's Thursday, but he was playing in the Tuesday night online as well.
He was. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's writing a chapter in mechanics history. It's interesting.
And let me switch back. Stuart Cat's trying to figure out the best way to proceed, but let me go back to this other game. Kevin Fong and Ian Lau.
This is board 5, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is
So this is one
eight.
big.
This
This
eight.
is one big open. There are class prizes too, right? Though.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, can White win right now? It's you would pause. Like, can you go bishop takes knight? Does that win the pawn ending?
Oh yes. What a Black
Oh, he tries it.
Black messed up by taking on b4, and there comes the Schweissenzug, bishop
So,
e6,
so you get
and
pawn
white
enemy.
gets an outside pass pawn. Black made a mistake,
Yeah.
and
I think
white
that
was
was a
very
good move to
alert.
take with the pawn. You had to do it. Pawn c5. Okay, with the king there. Oh, but I think white just wins. With king d3, pawn takes d4.
King g3. Don't get tempted by the don't worry. King d3 is a lovely move.
He's got time. 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah. Eventually, you'll force something over there.
This was a good try. Oh, he found it. He found it.
No, white's playing some nice moves.
Well, Kevin Fong, experienced
He's
player.
a very experienced player. Yes, he is. I think I should refresh my page here. I seem to be behind you folks. As usual. Now I'm watching a hamburger commercial.
Now, what if you go b3?
Probably the best move. Yes, at least get some space for that king.
And king c5 after.
Oh, that's a good point. And maybe that'll be just a draw.
He found it. They're playing very well.
A nice move.
But
But
yeah, this complicated game here. Now maybe you go h4 for white. You're going to try to get black in Zugzwang, of course. He has to move the king.
oh, here we go.
Yeah.
King c3.
Now b5 would just be a draw.
Oh, b5, a5, b4 check, king b3.
Oh, I see. White would play that way. Mm-hmm.
King b5, a6, king takes pawn, king takes b4. So I think h4 was a bit more accurate than king to c3.
King d4, king b4 would be too slow for black, right? King f3, king b5, king e4, king b6, king d3. Don't they queen at the same time?
We've gone h4, king d4, king, 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 takes, a5, king d. I thought I was queening 4.
White queen's first, but black, that might be a draw.
I thought white queen before black.
White does queen first, right?
Yeah, but black doesn't queen after.
At all? Okay, well you're probably right. I just looked at it once quickly. b5, a5, b4, king b3, king b5, a6. Oh no, sorry. Well, we're gonna get that variation, right? No, we're not.
Now nobody has pawn moves on the king side.
King b3,
White
king
could-
b4, king b4, king e3, king b5, king f3, king b6, king e4, a5, king d3, a6, e4, a7, e3. You're right. You're absolutely right. White queens first.
Must be nice to be a FIDE master where you're like looking 15 moves.
Well, no, I miscalculated. I make sloppy calculations. I can calculate accurately if I'm told that I did the wrong thing first. then I can go and say, oh yeah, that's right. But you have to be accurate. It's the first time. Otherwise,
Oh, he moved king b7.
Oh,
King b7. But now, what if you have king b5 and then king c7?
then yeah, this looks like it's going to be a draw, Nick. Don't you think? Somebody's going to keep somebody out here.
Now, the only
Yeah,
the,
you're right.
the-
White can't seem to get in.
Yeah, there's no extra move on the king side. White screwed this up, I think.
now is there any issue because black's got 2 minutes left on the clock? Is there an opportunity to just misplay one move that sort of leads to?
Well, this is the point. I mean, they've played so well up to now. You're wondering when is something due to go wrong? You know,
Right.
it's like either due to the clock or, the players under or overestimating their positions.
Look at this look at this other game. The game's still going with Stuart Katz, but man, look at
What a funny position.
yeah, doesn't that look kind of that's like domination going on right here.
The one thing you can say about this position is white has more pawns.
Yeah.
How many pawns? So many pawns.
But but back to this one.
But black has the better minor piece. It's got more range here.
But Kevin Fong trying to find the winning way.
As long as when white plays a5 and after ba5, king a5, black plays king a7, and I don't think white's winning. King b5, king c7, king c5, king c7. That's it, right, Nick?
So king b5, king c7. What were you trying to find? King.
Oh, I'm just trying to triangulate and get white to play a5 with black's king in the worst situation.
Yeah, you can try to be tricky with the white side. Nothing seems to really work. But,
Yeah. Not enough pawn moves on the king side, our left.
yes, that's why g4 was so committal. You allowed black to just lock it up.
Well, wouldn't black always have the move in that situation? Because after white would only have h4 to play, and then black can take and play h5.
And they've agreed to a draw.
I don't know. I don't know how to.
And all the games of the round are done. They did agree to a draw. I did a quick peek on the engine. It did show it dead even. So there was no... Theoretically, there was no way to make progress on there. So round 1 in the books. And round 2 will start in 15 minutes.
I'm going to grab a coffee. Do you need to get to anything, Abel?
Yeah, go ahead and grab your coffee, and then I'll take a few when you get back.
Okay.
And while we got the time, let's shamelessly plug the start of the next Tuesday Night Marathon live from downtown San Francisco. This Tuesday, or next Tuesday, actually. Not too late to register, and one of the things I've been noticing, a lot of new names have already registered, so kind of excited. People are wanting to get a feel of live chess and get a feel of the Mechanics Institute. We will have 10 games broadcast on our DGT boards with commentary from our very own Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and Paul Whitehead, and always fun to broadcast actual live chess. So looking forward to that.
And this is the second live Tuesday night marathon after the pandemic. So that's
Third. This is going to be our third one. Because we had...
really.
Yeah. Well, now you're making me doubt myself. But I know a way to check. So let us see. Actually, I don't even know why I doubt myself.
I'm sure you're right. It's just my impression.
Third
Wow.
one, yeah. Third one.
Oh, the first one was kind of a short Tuesday night
That's
marathon.
right, because it was a 5 week. It covered all of June, and then we had the July, August, and now we're having September, October. So, but that is the reason we had a 5 round TNM, because we sort of still weren't sure exactly what was going to happen with the public health policy, but everything's been steady. And then it was 7 rounds, and then this next one also 7 rounds.
And as Mike Walder said, the start of that, he had to pick up Elliot at BART. People had trouble getting in because the BART
Yeah,
didn't run as late.
yeah, and now Bart is back, so hopefully we get some players that couldn't make the TNM because of the Bart schedule ending so early. But I think now it goes to regular schedule again.
Yeah, Nick Cesaris had that problem, and a few of the other players.
I saw Nick at the mechanics today.
Oh yeah, we had a really good game last not last week, but the week before that. Went to Bishop and Knight ending with pawns, and um, I was lucky to come out on top of that. But I thought it was pretty instructive because I was like thinking of things I hadn't thought of in like a long time about how am I going to use my knight to beat that bishop and positioning it and all that stuff. I had to like
All that jazz.
work my brain. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes and I'm gonna let you guys bring chess to life. But before I do that, I'm gonna put the link to the Thursday night so people can check up on the pairings and standings. I'll be right back, guys.
I have that domination book in by Kasparian, and actually I wrote a whole series of articles for the newsletter about using with studies from that book, the domination theme. There was a Russian kid came into the mechanics the other day and found that book in Russian on our shelves at the mechanics for free to take.
I mean, there's a treasure trove there of chess books.
Yeah, and a lot of them are
Welcome.
free now up in the club. We have some real quality books that are not only in the library, lending library downstairs, but they're just lying around the club. This is um, uh, a nice resource for anybody coming into the club to just sit down with a classic chess book and play over some games.
We've had so many members of the club who donated their books throughout the years, these fantastic books. So
We're able to just give away wonderful chess books. There's informants and encyclopedias and old classic tournament books, and there's even some opening books older than or newer than 1980, I think, in there, Nick.
good. It's,
Yeah, it's great that Ezra is playing. He's a kind of an unknown quantity, as far
Well,
as I'm concerned.
he had been getting better and better, and then he spent his time on Webster, studying, and his game's gotten really good. So, but nice to see him back, at the Mechanics Institute.
Definitely. And he's coaching for us as well.
So, excellent.
Meanwhile, we're seeing Hans Niemann all over the pages of Chess Life.
Yeah, his career has really taken a boost after that World Open victory.
Fantastic. So I wonder why Elliot's not playing in this tournament, or Michael Walzer. Michael, why aren't you playing? I mean, we have a big dropout in strength after the top 4 players. There's not one player under 2,300 to drop down to expert under 2,300, I think. Something happened to your chess.com account. What's Elliot's excuse? Oh, an annual fee for chess.com? I'm only on there as a free user. I confess.
But then maybe you can't play the longer games.
Ah, that's interesting. And Elliot prefers over the board play. I don't, yeah. But he did show up and just enough to beat me this afternoon. Quite soundly destroyed me. But my attitude was far too flippant. You know, I understand that the billionaire who owns chess.com needs your money, Michael. So you might as well pony it up.
Well, I don't think they're billionaires yet.
All right. What I miss?
We're talking about whether the owner of chess.com is a billionaire.
That's a good question, actually.
You know what? I'm going to Google that.
That's a good question. I don't think a billionaire, but yeah, not yet. 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to get a cup of tea. Be prepared for the next.
That's right. Nick doesn't drink coffee. He drinks tea. What's your preferred tea? Like Earl Grey.
Oh, like Earl Grey is very good, or any kind of black tea.
Yeah. All right. Go tea up.
It is the Irish breakfast of the black teas.
And let me check to see if pairings for round 2. Board 1, Gadir Gusayanov against Stuart Katz.
Okay.
And we have Matthew Chan, 1658 rated, take on Balachandra Dulipala. Casimir Dudek, who's 1649, taking on Ezra Chambers. Brian Hood against Max Gadajlovic. And so on and so on. So the top seeds are going to have a little bit more of a challenge. They still have a significant advantage, but I think the games will be a little bit tighter this time. So, and in the pairing sheet it says Victor Beauchamp, who would have gotten a full point buy, says Judith extra game against Victor if Victor is up for it. So let's see if Victor's up for the challenge of an extra rated game. So. All right, exciting games. Getting ready for round 2 here. And he is in the chat saying he's up for it. He's down. So, Judith, if you're listening, it is confirmed. Victor Beauchamp against Judith Stare for the belt. You're going for the belt. It's a championship belt. I think we've created a monster here with Paul Whitehead because I think now that he's in the chat, like he's got something to say.
No, I don't. What have I said in the last half hour? Nothing.
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 Excuse me. T minus 3 minutes to round 2. It's exciting. I have an idea for an event, but I don't know if I should share it yet because I'm afraid somebody will copy it. But I don't know that anybody will be able to copy it before we do it.
Well, it can be held only at the mechanics. It can't be copied.
Well, we can do it online, the mechanics online, but and I don't, I don't know if it's even a good idea. Judith knows. Yeah, I borrowed that from Judith. The T minus 2 minutes. The last time I heard that in a movie, does anybody know what movie this was? Where it was
Doctor Strangelove.
T minus 5 minutes, and then when it got to T minus 1 minute, and then started counting the seconds, it was someone that was trying to turn off the self-destruct button.
Right, Armageddon or something like that.
It was the first Alien. When
Sigourney
Weaver did the automatic self-destruct, and then she went back to try to shut it off, and then she didn't do it in time, and she got mad at the computer.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I went to see it with my daughter. Maybe 20 years after it had been. Sorry, I have something hanging from my. Maybe 20 years after it came out, if not more, and she laughed.
Yeah, she laughed.
Yeah, and she laughed through some of the scenes. I think, and I was still holding onto my seat in terror.
Like, what's there to laugh at in Alien?
I think it's just the the expectation of what a horror film is after, some time goes by.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like it just didn't. She'd already, the tropes were already known, and
Right.
all the.
It's like you're watching Alien, and you see the strings hanging from the.
I don't know.
Now everything's CGI and all this stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any strings, but I thought Alien was a great movie.
I mean, the only strings you saw were like the guts coming out of people when the alien got a hold of them with that jaw.
Yeah.
I admire its purity. That's right. That's what the artificial person said about the alien.
Is that right?
No morals.
They made those ridiculous sequels, right? Alien versus Predator.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you were a fan of the franchise, you liked that. But the second one, Aliens, that was a great movie. That was nonstop action.
Is that the?
You have my.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, the one with Winona Ryder, I would have liked just because I like Winona Ryder, but I don't care.
That was Alien. That was Alien 3.
That's probably pretty bad.
It went downhill after the first two, but Prometheus was really good. That was supposed to be a prequel to Alien. I like Prometheus, but then Alien Covenant came out, and that I didn't really like that one. Well, here we go. Now that we've touched on the Alien franchise. Round 2 has begun.
Fantastic. And we have a Petrov defense with D4 on the third move.
And that has thrown Stuart Katz into... Well,
I'll just let... I saw Paul Carraz's last tournament in Vancouver in 1975, and he was playing a master. And after night of the Petrov defense, Carraz played D3. And won a nice positional game. He turned the Petrov defense into a Philidor's reversed.
That's like doing some jujitsu or something. Take one thing and you transpose into something else.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Paul.
What's that?
You know, how that line against the Petrov,
Just play D3 on the third move.
you at least get an unbalanced position.
Holy
I've
cow!
done it many times. Many times.
What happened?
After seeing Kara's play it.
If I'm not mistaken, we already have a result in one of the games. Let me just confirm that I'm seeing this right. Yeah, we already have a result on board 2.
Oh my God.
Something
Wow.
went wrong for Matthew Chan here. And let's take a look at it.
It could have been a mouse slip.
Knight takes E5 is unusual, right, for white there in that position? I don't know. Oh, what happened here?
This is like reversed Alekan. Oh. Wow.
Ouch. Ouch. Oh, no, not pawn to G3.
Yeah. Yeah. And against someone the caliber of Balachandra Dulapala, there's nowhere to go from that. Ooh, tough one. Early
Well,
night.
this is you know, this is basic kind of opening disaster.
And this is one where you're sort of like making moves because you think everything is fine, right? And then you just got caught up. But even here, like, you just gotta move the king, right?
You have to go king D2.
Or take on E6 here after E5. Yeah, but you can't allow this.
Yeah. Wow.
No. This is
But if you go king D2, it instead of pawn to G3, it's not that bad.
Now, how about that?
I mean, not ideal, but okay, look.
Yeah, so G3 is the real culprit. King D2.
And then what? What would be the
Good question.
knight F4? Because the queen. Because
Knight F4, G3 then.
Yeah. Knight F4.
What's the theory here, Nick?
I'm not sure this is a very.
This isn't an MCO right here.
I mean, what is this? Did Black actually fool himself here?
No, I mean black's not worse in that position, but
But does he have to go back to with the knight to E7? Well, I don't know.
And white develops after that. It's
Yeah.
the game.
Dimple pitch in the chat saying you got Chandra. So that's how you get Chandra. Just
Now this is very
Is it-
familiar.
and here we have Ezra Chambers. Let me switch the orientation. He's playing white against Casimir Dudek.
This Black just has to know how to arrange his pieces here, and he's fine. I've managed to catch some people not knowing how to arrange their pieces.
Because you would play this on the white side.
Yeah, and Black would make some kind of mistaken plan, and White would get an advantage. But I think if Black just plays some, you know, knight e6 and knight d4 quickly, he's usually fine. Right, Nick?
Oh yes.
Whoa!
trying to
Look at that.
Knight F6.
Knight F6.
Oh, yeah, this is actually a line.
But just don't panic.
Yeah, this
Just
is
like the last game. Don't panic, just move the king.
Yeah, this is actually a line that I don't know at all. Like, I wouldn't play knight f6 check. I'd just play pawn h3 probably.
Wow, Mike Walder's in the chat saying he looked it up and there's a piece sack on king d2, knight f6 with a big advantage.
Wow, Mike, nobody's going to catch you by surprise. I'm telling you that.
He's not going to get Chandra. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the more booked up you are, the more fearsome a player you're becoming.
So you don't take you don't even take with a bishop here.
No, just play king f8 like Nick says. I think the knight has to move again, and then black has won 2 tempo, but his
Yeah, the
king's
knight
on
goes back
f8.
to e4, and well, then you don't repeat with king e8.
This is book, but I don't know it.
And we're going to take our first look now at board 4 with Max Gedajlovic, and I think Max looks like he's doing all right. Let's take a look at the beginning. Let's flip the orientation. Wow, Max, bishop b4 check right off the bat. Max playing aggressive chess.
What is that called? That's not a Bogo Indian. What is that called?
It's a Nimzo Indian.
Oh, now it's a Leningrad Nimzo, right?
Yes, yes.
But I mean that bishop b4 check on the second move. What the heck is that called?
Oh, right. There is a name for that, but I've forgotten.
And it's not named. It's not named in the chess.com.
Oh, chess.com has this ridiculous names.
Naming.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's bogus when chess.com doesn't list the Peacemaker as a valid opening. The Mechanics Peacemaker. Knight
really
F,
discovered something.
Knight F3, Knight F6, Knight G1.
Yeah.
Knight G8. So Max up a pawn here, but
Yeah, this hasn't gone particularly well for white.
Yeah, I mean, black's better, but white's still got something.
It's complicated.
so let's take a look at Aaron Craig's game. All right, we have another new member of the Mechanics Twitch community.
How's the Grandmaster doing on board 1?
Thank you for following. Oh yeah, we got a GM on board 1 here. And it's still all right, Stuart, he got castled, which is good. It's true.
It's almost like checking Kramnik, you know, like
I put him in check. I had him running.
I put Kramnik in check. It was the highlight of my chess career.
Oh, so Max Gedajlovic is playing one of Mike Walder's students, Brian Hood.
Oh, cool.
So we'll follow that game. So Petrov, Steinitz attack.
Yeah,
And do you just keep that pawn on d5 if you're black?
Well, black has 2 ways to play. He can either at some point take on c4 and give white the isolated d pawn, or he can, you know, not take on c4. Let white take on d5 or something.
yeah. You might consider bishop e3, e6.
The black has to get some development going here. Has to be careful.
And it seems like there's like a lot of action here.
So I heard that the tournament is not going to be held on the Isle of Man. And we were told by Akko in the
The cafe?
chess cafe that uh, it was going over to um, Latvia, somewhere in Latvia, right, Nick?
That's kind of different places, Latvia and the Isle of Man. You know.
It was.
Right.
Does that have something to do with health issues or?
Has to do with apparently UK uh, policy that you have to isolate for 14 days before going anywhere in the UK.
Ah, interesting.
Okay, and so but they want to hold the tournament anyway, and they're going to hold it in Latvia.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Reverend Bruce had lost a piece here.
Yeah, it's lost a piece.
Yeah.
Queen B5,
Oof.
knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And Aaron's just making sure all is good here before he snaps that off.
And it threatens to win the black queen with bishop d7 check as well. So it's just devastating.
All kinds of nefarious tactics. But now I have to see if it's actually going to happen.
It did.
Well, I mean, the other part, the queen. Oops.
Black can resign.
And we also have a result in the game between. Yeah, that's black. Sunny Lou, it looks like. Yeah. Sunny Lou won her game with a. Speaking of tactics, let me change the orientation and then we can. Well, she's already up a ton of stuff.
Ooh, that white king just
Look at that.
ouch.
Just
Ouch.
bam. Nice job, Sunny Lou. Gets that game. Let's take a look at this game. In the extra rated section.
Queen d8 was a nice move, I think.
So we have our very own Judith Starre playing black against Victor Beauchamp.
Ah, the great Victor Beauchamp.
Oh my God! And Paul will tell you. So during the Bernardo Smith Memorial, Judith played an extra-rated game, and she got a draw in that game. But man, she was so beat up. Like she felt she should have had that game. And what I do, she actually replayed the whole game. She whipped out her phone, put it in her engine, and her and Paul were going over the game. And man, she plays for real when she plays, man. She's really she's trying to win.
Well, she has to be a little careful in her games.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Queen e4, knight c6 was a blunder. Knight c6 was a terrible blunder.
yeah, and we just saw it right now.
Oh, he did see it.
So we're gonna pull away from this game to bring you.
We hope it goes better soon.
Wow, look at this pawn formation here. Brian Hood against Max Skidajlovic. Mike Walder must have told Brian Hood, "Hey, put your pawns in like a nice row." What do you think of this?
Well, white looks like he may regain the pawn here.
Yeah. Looks
And
like
then
C5 is like a good square for that knight, no?
yeah, no, knight b3 is the move here, I think. Although then there's knight d5 is met by if black can get a quick play against g3 or something, white could get opened up very quickly. So this is still in the balance here. White has to be very careful. queen d6 attacks g3, and then h4, h3, or maybe h4 or g4 right away. If white can play knight b3, knight c5, and queen d3 and e4 free of charge or something like that, he's going to have a good game. But
Let's go back to board 3 with Ezra Chambers and Casimir Dudek. And it looks like the king f8 was played from that earlier position.
mm-hmm. And
It looks all right for black.
yeah, it's like you said, Nick. Nope, don't panic. Just play.
And the thing with Ezra, you know, he's been like training and practicing with the Webster powerhouse team and all their GMs. So
Oh yeah.
he's got some strong, should have some strong prep under his belt.
For sure. So white can play d3, bishop c1, queen c1, king g7, and then what? Maybe white doesn't have much.
Yeah, black is holding the squares.
Yeah.
King on g7, pawn on h6. Pretty solid.
Yep.
Let's check back at board 1.
Yes, an amazing situation. Beer hasn't won yet.
Right.
Yeah, I can't believe it. He's slacking off.
He's losing the edge.
This pawn on b5 does not look good.
Yeah, and how did that happen? Oh, okay. Took. There, yeah. That's how that happened. Now, is the idea that, I mean, he's going to look to put the bishop on b7?
You've got to be able to play a quick c5 or something, or b4 if you're going to do this. Right, Nick? I'm always asking Nick. Right, Nick?
You say it with such confidence, and then you're like, right, Nick? Is that right?
Well, you know, I mean, these are some of the most difficult positions to understand. You know, I think you've got to, if you play b5 and you don't want to get saddled with these weaknesses, you're going to have to follow up with, you know, something quick, c5 or b4 and c5 or something.
Yeah.
You know, that seems to be my view of it, but right, Nick?
Right.
Well, I agree absolutely.
He's all, you agree, don't you, Nick?
But I don't like that move, pawn to b5, because the c6 pawn has to be guarded by a
Yeah, yeah. It looks like it was you know.
pseudo aggression.
Now,
And now if you play b4, then white can play knight a4, and then there's all these weaknesses on the c file. And what does black have to show for it? Not much.
Well, I like that move. Bishop b7 is at least solid. You're not just throwing the pawns up further and weakening the squares.
So now if black can play a6 and c5, he's getting somewhere.
Now the only problem is that Stewart's used a lot of time.
Queen f3, queen takes d4.
Yeah, just take it.
Better take it, because otherwise white's getting everything there.
Okay,
He's
that's
doing his laundry, yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's studying
That's kind of
studying for the bar as he's
doing.
playing these games.
Yeah, Gadir is up. Like
Yeah,
he point-
and the times he gets in trouble, he's like, stirring the sauce, and then it's like, oh shoot.
when he's not sending you to the cleaners, he's doing his own laundry.
Wow, something happened in Max Kadajlovic's game. That game is over.
I think White's much better here after rookie one. Black, Black is in trouble.
So look at this game. So Max Kadajlovic, Queen D6.
Oh, that's the move that I pointed out.
Oh, what a threat. Oh, oh, oh.
Yep. You relieved him of a rook.
Yikes. Oh, yeah. Rook F2 is a blunder, but I guess he's lost anyway, probably.
Tough one, tough one. So 2 out of 2 for Max Kadajlovic. Back to Ezra Chambers, Casimir Dudek. Looks like Ezra's.
Oh, nice by Ezra. He's not allowing just simplification. He's trying to cause trouble.
Yeah, and it's really the knight that belongs on E6 here, but I can see how Black got like this idea. Yeah, I like knight G5. That's a good move. That knight at B5 just looks like it's kind of dangling now.
Maybe it should go back to C7. But he wanted to play something aggressive.
Man, this is like positional chess.
Yeah, it's heating up here.
Okay, but on to D3 is now just
Wow. Look at this game. Let me go back to this. Judith.
all right.
She is up. It looks like 3 pawns.
She fought back.
She fought back. Oh my gosh. She's got an attack.
Yeah, she hasn't learned how to the castling rule yet, I can see. You know?
She's just brute force. I'm just going to attack.
She's got a winning game here, I think.
Castling
yeah.
gets in the way. Castling gets in the way of attack. Well, we'll keep following this game. Good for her.
Yeah, she's doing all right so far.
It was looking dire there for a little bit.
Still a little up in the air.
Oh, certainly complicated because all the white pieces are good. So who cares about a couple pawns?
Queen F3.
Ugh. This is starting to look tough.
So threats for white. Knight C6, knight to B5. All the white pieces are out.
I guess knight takes E5 is, and then the knight D5. Does that survive at all?
Let's try that. The most straightforward move is best if you can make it work. And here it would be take away that monster knight on E5, pawn takes E5, black's knight on F6 goes to D5 so that you're threatening the bishop on G5. And maybe they have to go bishop takes E7, knight takes E7. Everything's even, and maybe
Knight takes B5.
after the knight goes to D5, you want to go bishop takes D5.
No. Bishop takes E7, knight E7, and then knight takes B5.
Ah, okay, to win a pawn. And that certainly looks like a pawn.
there's probably other ways for white to get an advantage, right?
Yes, it's very unpleasant for black.
I mean, after knight takes e7, white can play rook d1 or something. That's pretty powerful too. I'm sure there's other moves. But black had better do something like that. How long can he passively hold this position?
Let me do a quick check-in on this game from the tournament. This is Shield Dandekar 2034 rated against James Hamlet 1561. Let me change the orientation.
Black should be castled on the king side in these positions, not on the queen side.
And what do you mean in these positions?
Well, it looks like a kind of a...
It's just open? Or?
Usually they're castled on the king side. Those bishops, and white's castled on the king side too.
Yeah, it's like a hanging pawn, queen's gambit decline.
with castled on the queen side. It's a little odd, but maybe it's still... Yeah. Well, black looks like he's got a reasonable game. And maybe even an incredibly strong attack after d4 or something like that.
Well,
Or rook e8 and then d4.
This should be a fight, especially with castling on
Pawn to
opposite.
g5. The pawn to g5 is the flavor move of the decade. So
He just wants to see a bloodbath or just a complete, these aren't my pieces, so I'm just gonna do whatever.
We've got Nick and Tony at the club, studying the Hungarian defense. No, I mean the Budapest. Studying the Budapest, to the 35th move, as a forced win for black. So, this is right up their alley, this kind of position.
Oh wow, Aaron Craig, Adam, you getting called out? How come you're not playing the Thursday night marathon?
Yeah, where's Christian Clemens?
Yeah, where's Christian Clemens?
People.
What the heck? Where are people at?
Yeah, where's Mangonel?
Kalen. I
Kalen.
think Kalen thinks he's too good for us now. He wins the Central California Open under 2000, and now it's like, well, I don't want to ruin my reputation by playing at the Mechanics now. No, we're joking. Congrats to Kalen. Awesome to see a result like that.
Hey, Nick, I like g5 in this position.
You saw what Mike Walters responded. G5, he wants to go pawn to B6.
That's a great reply. I love it. Clearing the B5 square for the white knight. Yeah.
Dimple Pinch in the chat. Where's Zenwabi?
Zenwabi. Where's Kasparov? He's supposed to be here.
Yeah, Balachandra won in 6 moves. He relieved his opponent of a rook.
Yeah, that was a opening disaster.
Jeff,
How is Gusinev's game going?
let me go back.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, you want to see some blood. I bet there's blood by now.
See, h6 he wants to play g5, but he's not ready to play it right away. Oh, so
He did take on E5, and looks like White's just going to win a pawn by
yeah.
your method.
I have no method, Nick. I'm just a blundering on fool.
No method, but madness.
Yeah, we got some.
Looks like there's a couple of ways of winning a pawn after knight d5. probably. You could start with bishop d5, right? I think.
Yes. But, oh, look. Gadir is playing your way. I'm sure he's going to play knight takes b5.
Oh, and then the knight could maybe gives black another chance to go wrong by allowing the knight to come to d6 or something. Or he can still play bishop d5. Well, Stuart, it was nice to know you, you know?
I think, Stuart, you played well for a long time. You're only a bit worse after some moves.
And he was trying. He may use his time.
I mean, Gadir,
What can you do?
he had to take his laundry out of the washing machine and put it in the dryer, you know?
You know what? This game here is becoming one of the more exciting games to watch here. This is Action Jackson with Victor Beauchamp against Judith.
Okay.
Look at Judith getting caught in the crossfire.
Fighting chess.
I'll bet you White has a win here.
Oh, it's White's move.
Yeah,
He's
seven
off.
check. How about rook e7 check and queen c5 or something like that?
You want to start with queen b5 check?
Well, then then you can take on b7 as well.
This is
Judith.
well, you gotta keep in mind. I mean, these are like 1,000 rated players, right? So
Yeah,
The game is highly
anything can
entertaining.
happen. Yeah,
anything can happen, and usually does.
and usually does.
Yeah.
Back to the Ezra Chambers, Casimir Dudek. I'm keeping an eye on the 3, 4, 5, 4, and that is what happened in Gadir's game. They traded down, and White is up a pawn.
We'll have to see how that happened. So is e6 anything for White here?
And Mike Walder had recommended that move
Yeah,
a
it's
while
still-
ago. Yeah.
But also this c4. Oh, no, it doesn't quite work. Win anything. Because of bishop f3. Oh, but then queen f3 eyes f7. So what exactly is happening here, Nick? c4, bishop f3, queen f3. Black has to play bishop g5.
Well, this move e6 looks better. But,
c4 almost worked.
yeah, although it seemed black was surviving. Here, what do you do? I mean, ouch.
Yeah, you don't want a piece going to a knight going to f7.
Like if bishop takes e6, just
Rook e6.
rook e6, bishop takes g5, knight takes g5, pawn to h6.
Oh yeah, look at that.
But yeah, it's not nice.
Something's gonna give.
Something's got to give.
Even just knight e6 and rook e6 would be powerful.
Oh yeah, terrible position.
Could throw in bishop h6 check too.
Oh, wow. Look at this game here. I actually think it's two friends got paired with each other. Coach Joe.
Oh, did the game do the mechanics? What do they call it again? What do you guys call it?
You talking about the opening?
Yeah, the opening that Nick and I play.
The Peacemaker.
The piece.
The Mechanics Peacemaker. Nope, they're playing it out. And Coach Joe is up material with black, but
That white queen is sitting in the black position. and the knight at b6 is horrible. Oh, but it was black's move. That makes a big difference. And plus, he was up a rook, so you know.
Yeah, it's upper. I didn't notice that. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So
This doesn't look good for white.
Yes, if you'd just given white 2 moves, it would have been all very good.
Yeah, I forgot to count the rooks. Sorry.
see, you're busy counting pawns. You should have been counting rooks.
Oh,
Look
here we
at
go.
this. Stuart Katz has gotten to a pawn down endgame. That's marvelous.
It's a,
No, that's
a victory unto itself.
Yes, go Stuart.
Yeah, this is not if black. This is going to be that end game, Nick. This is going to be the Capablanca Alekhine end game, the Alekhine Capablanca end game, right? With
Now-
the B pawns. Does that make it easier for? Would that make it easier for black to try to draw if it's a B pawn?
No, I think the A pawn gives the defense better chances. B pawn is
The king can go around on the other side too.
but still
This is nothing for black to be proud of.
okay. But I saw a game. It was Maxime Vacher-Lagrave. He was pawn down, and who was he playing? Oh, some what's there? Oh yeah, Kasparov. It was in the Blitz tournament, and he got the pawn down ending.
I saw that.
And he just rocked out a position kind of similar to this. It's like if Gadir goes king to g2, oh well, now play rook d3. He did it. Same as
Oh, the rook d3 move. Nice, just like I saw that game as well.
now rook d2. Oh no, you're not quite Maxime.
Rook d2. I see. To keep
just
the-
keep
to
that
keep-
white king from getting in the game.
Right. I remember that. I remember that game. That's fascinating. The similarities, yeah. There's still this third rank thing going on here, Nick.
Yes, but Gadir is ready to say, hey, you can have a pawn or two on the king side if I get those queen side pawns rolling.
So h5, what? Rook b5, rook a3, and then
No, you see, first h4 just so the white pawns are, and probably something like king f6, and you go king to d2.
oh, I see. And then if rook b2, king c3, rook f3, rook b5.
Yes, but okay, it's still a bit complicated.
Yeah.
Stuart's, I mean, the other way is better.
Great comment from Dimple Pinch. Gadir is running out of time with under 30 minutes.
30.
Yes.
And Stuart just had 5 minutes and just enough time for a complicated rook and pawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron Craig is saying he lost in the dumbest way possible. If you've seen some of the games we looked at in this round, you may not feel as bad. Sometimes things just do not go as planned. So White is trying to come to the other side over here.
White's trying to take the 2 pawns on the queen side, the B pawn, and give up the F2 and G3 pawn, maybe in return. This is not easy, though.
So Stuart is really playing well.
Yeah, this is a good game.
Maybe king d6 he does, so he's one step away from guarding the b5 pawn.
And then he can play rook f3.
Yes. If king c2. Oh, but nice move. Well, okay, you can switch the defense.
Rook f3, king e2, rook f5. Is that too passive? Yeah, probably.
Well, no, you can do that. You can do that. It's probably as good as any defense.
Uh-huh. I see. Huh.
Tough.
Boy, rook endings are so complicated. They really are.
Stewart, just great,
Trying to hang
against
in there,
someone.
but the clock is ticking.
For Gadir, yeah. Look at this. He's under 30 minutes.
Could we have a
Thanks,
look?
thanks, Dimple Pinch, for feeding me some lines there.
It's almost like Gadir's gonna like make extra money with the balance of his time left over in his game, so he's trying not to burn off.
I like King D2. It's neither here nor there, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a Zugzwang move almost.
Well, Rook F3 is the same thing. I guess then Rook A5. No, then Rook F2, King E3, Rook F5. I don't know.
Oh, f6 wasn't so good. What's happening in Judas' game?
Oh my God, that's right.
How many players are in the
Oh.
tournament?
We've
What a
got
crazy
25.
game.
Okay. Wow, look at this. Judith's up 3 pawns.
Managed to trade off the queens.
Ooh. What's happening on king to d3?
Yeah, that's kind of inconvenient, Nick. King to d3 is a... Oh, but rook c1 is played, allowing black to just trade and play knight c6. Incredible. Judith's got this one in the bag.
And if she heard you say that, she would be like, don't say that yet. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's check on Ezra Chambers and Casimir Dudek. Oof. Oh. That's a free rook, at least.
Yeah.
As you take the rook and pawn to c4, drops the bishop on d5.
Yeah.
Or knight
Or
f7.
knight f7 check.
Knight f7 check.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Albert Starr's on board 5, giving a lesson to somebody. Nice.
Albert Starr on board 5. What's he talking about? Who's on board 5?
Albert Starr isn't even playing.
Yeah, what are you talking about, man? This is Shield, Dandekar, and James Hamlet. How did Albert Starr get in there? I'm gonna see him on Tuesday. Hey, somebody was saying they saw you at the online. Like he can't even he doesn't even register online. He's paid live. He's sure not playing online.
And this is just so over. Black is down a whole rook.
Here we go.
This has just been a disaster for black.
That's this game here. Oh, I know what he's talking about. You know what he's talking about?
Oh, he's talking about the
Opening, yeah, B4. That's what he played against
Fantastic.
me.
You're absolutely right.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, Albert Starr all the way. Yep.
And just as a side note to this, I saw Tony at the club a few days later, and we spent a good 15 minutes talking about what I should have done, because he did it against me, and then I completely misplayed as black, but then Tony showed me
And Jules is another one who plays this thing all the time.
Jules Jelinek. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice one, Adam. Good call. Good call.
The thing to do is, if you're playing Jules, is to open with this against him, and it'll get completely discombobulated.
It looks like Stewart is sort of holding. You know, or is that a mirage?
Well, he's really putting up a fight. That's very true.
So if Rook A5, what, King D4 or something?
You could take the pawn on F2
And give White the two pass pawns.
yes, but at least your king would have been advanced. And
He's got a minute 30 left on the clock.
but now
Rook B6. Oh, no, then Rook A3. So Gadir's just messing around here,
yes,
trying to induce a blunder from black, which is quite possibly going to happen. But I like the way black's been playing. It's been nice to watch.
Oh.
Yeah, he's trying to get black to play G5 or something like that.
okay. Well, that was excellent. Oh, Rook 3. Okay, but give him a check. Good.
Rook
Try
A2.
G5.
Now Rook A2. Does Gadir have anything?
Rook
Oh, he
C3.
plays G5. C3. I think black is close to a draw here, but
Take with the pawn. Have to.
you just bring your king up and give him the B5 pawn. Oh, I would have played king F5 and not. Yeah, this was. You can't give up that G pawn.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. That check was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Black is making some mistakes here.
Rook F3 check.
Now,
You should have played king F6 and not rook B3 check.
on H4, but now Rook G6 check.
Still, it's close, huh, Nick?
Well, I think it's now crossed over into a winning position.
Yeah. Yep. Rook G6 and then Rook G5.
Yes, to guard.
He's probably just seeing if the pawn can slip through with H3, but no.
Okay, but maybe King H7. Just take on A3, and you have a.
How about taking on A3, take on A5, H4, Rook F3, and take on F2?
Yeah.
Or now, oh, I would have taken the B pawn. I would have taken the B pawn instead.
Right, because now white gets two pawn. Yeah, King G4. It's all over.
Two passes.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, speaking of rook and pawn endings, here we go.
Wow, this was black missed a chance or two in this end game.
Okay, we get to see Judith's technique. The pawns marching down.
That is right.
And see Judith's pawns compared to Gadir. She has two connected pass pawns.
Yeah, she's
Gadir's
doing.
got these split ones. He's
Judah is
So is
showing
this a-
better
this is
knowledge
the-
of pawn
This is the
structure.
point where chess resembles bowling, I think. Right? The pins are together here.
Right.
Judith.
You don't want to split. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to
Split
pick
for
up
Gadir.
You don't want to pick up a spare. Chess resembles bowling. Chess and bowling. Hey, where's Alexi Root? Chess and bowling.
Yeah, that's true.
The
Alexi's not
pins,
here.
the pins, and the pawn structure.
Chess and bowling. It's a natural, you know. So how's Gadir doing? Did he push the? And Ezra, both of them must have.
Ezra won that game.
Gadir comes. He skates on thin ice sometimes, but then you know.
Look, Stuart's got it down to one pawn, and this is about 50 moves. Unfortunately, it's the Lucena position, but
The Lucena. This is instruction at its finest right here.
I think Gadir knows this one.
This is textbook Lucena.
It certainly is.
I mean, this is literally an endgame lesson right here on the Lucena.
There's two winning methods, and Gadir's using the other one.
Yeah.
The rook a2, rook a8 idea. If black plays rook c1 here.
now you need to resign, Stuart, right here, because you're just a pawn down. You did a great job.
And he did.
Well done.
Well played, though, by Stuart Katz. Kept it
Yes.
in there.
Yeah, that's a game to.
So 2 games left, but we
make-
gotta be rooting for Judith here to march those
Gadir
points.
sweat. Judith Starry, wow. This is finishing a little bit earlier than usual, Abel.
Yeah, and it's just because of the rating disparities of the early rounds. So,
Mhm.
you know.
Judith, I think rook b2 made more sense there
Just
than rook h4.
keep the king cut off.
Yeah, and then
She may be a little bit worried about pushing those pawns, right? Even though that's what you're supposed to do, there may be some caution around that.
so yeah. I mean, of course, it's still winning, but you need to sort of get those pawns rolling. They can be cover for the king, king g4, and then But the rook is badly placed on h4. It doesn't do anything. It's self paralysis, is what it is.
Well, she could go back, rook h2 check,
There you go.
and the king either goes back to the back rank or comes up to f3, and then she'd get a checkmate.
Yes,
G4.
yes, that's what we want to see happen.
And I totally know she's like racking her brain right now, just trying to like
Well,
work it out.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there? She's got this one in the bag.
Oh, good check, good check. And I bet you he goes up.
He goes up. It's made in one move.
Now the key's staying on that 7th rank, right?
Well, it helps. It definitely helps, right? I mean, it'll help. It'll help because then you can just play king g4 and then bring the king g3 and bring the pawn down to f3 or something like that, and combine mating threats with queening a pawn. That's what my new chess column is going to be. It's going to be these multiple choice things for the newsletter, Nick. It's going to be for beginners or people who think that they know everything.
And it's actually well suited for these times because even at mechanics, what we're seeing a lot of new players, and it's players that started playing online for the last year and a half during the pandemic, and now they're ready to come out and play live chess.
So, like one of the positions that I was thinking a good one was like the Philidor defense after Morphy plays d4, and then Black has these alt moves like bishop to g4 that the Count played, and there's also knight f6 or e takes d4 or some other logical moves. And then there's outright bad moves like g6, which just hangs the pawn at e5. So, a multiple choice kind of thing.
They had that column in Chess Life like that. So
Yeah, well,
it's the best move.
ooey to Chess Life. We're going to do it. I'll do my own version.
We don't need chess life. Wow, and we were looking at this game. We thought there was going to be some action because they've castled on opposite sides, but definitely looks like White's going to be.
Still a wild game here.
And got to go back to this game and see what ends up happening.
Enko's bafflers. Yeah. Well, the multiple choice
This
thing.
is good.
Oh, Judith is putting on the Ritz. She's got him. She can check and trade rooks too if she gets desperate.
This is all excellent.
Yeah.
You want to see the win.
Come on, Judith. Your homies are right here.
Yeah. You got your support group ready to cheer you on here.
And it's not that we don't like you, Victor. It's just you're playing one of us.
It's like,
go ahead
Right.
and do that.
This is familia.
That is exactly right.
Okay, so White should try rookie 2 check here as the final. And hope for F takes E2 stalemate.
You're right. That
And
might.
now
Oh.
Black can just queen in 2 moves here. Various ways to polish off Victor. I know that when I talk to Judith about chess the next time, I'm going to have just a couple of words to say.
Some rules of thumb. Type
Rules
stuff.
of thought. Yeah.
Oh, she did it. King F3. Excellent. Excellent.
Yep.
How that
Nicely done, Judith.
it's much better than getting a queen. This
It's checkmate coming up.
and there's no stalemate.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Fantastic.
Good move, Rook G1. Hoping.
Yay.
hoping for the automatic F1 queen.
Right, right. See, that's thinking that's some advanced thinking there. I would not have thought of that at all.
The mechanics community is proud
Yeah,
our TD.
Judah. Well done.
So she has no idea. Like we're like completely following her action. We got one game left in the tournament. That's this one right here. This is it. Final game.
Wow, this is an action game.
Action Jackson,
Wow.
Sheil Dandekar, and James Hamlet.
James is not going down without a fight here. I guess queen takes c3 check is probably the easiest.
Yeah, that's a nice, really nice extra pawn.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
We were all rooting for you.
Well, the black can still put up some resistance, quite a bit of resistance here. This game is far from over. What would you try to do here, Nick? Trade all the pieces off and win the king and pawn ending?
Well, that sounds like a good plan. But yeah, black won't be so obliging.
Yeah, this is going to be, black rooks are nice and active.
Yes, I mean, there's, rook endings are tough to win, as we just saw.
Double rook endings are supposed to be even tougher.
Yeah. But probably pawn to a4. It's really excellent winning chances.
So I found a couple of games with two bishops versus two bishops. And, with one player having a material or a large positional advantage. And those seem to be even easier than you would think, because the stronger side has more options of trading specific bishops. So it's even more difficult for the defense if it's a two bishops versus two bishop situation, because of the added ability to trade, make an advantageous trade.
Pierce defend.
Rain Dog.
Yeah, that's what it is. Rain Dog. Rain Dog 2. Not even 1. Rain Dog 2.
What Elephant and Rain Dog, they sound like old names from the Haight-Ashbury or something. 60s. Steve, which Steve is this? I get confused by all these, by all the names.
Oh, no, that's Steven Sykes is Rain
Okay.
Dog.
Okay.
And Joe Flowers is his buddy.
Joe Flowers, that's either a mafia hitman or
Like Jimmy 2 times.
yeah, it's either a mafia hitman or a flower power dude from the Hague.
Mafia hitman. Jimmy 2 times. I'm gonna go get the papers. Get the
Joey
papers.
Flowers. So what's going on at the mechanics? Are we? We're open now 5 days a week for chess, right?
5 days a week for chess.
Sometimes 7 days because of the
Tournaments.
of the
Yeah, the
tournament.
tournaments. And yeah, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're in downtown San Francisco, want to check out Mechanics, someone will be there in the office. You can come in, play, study. Tuesday nights, we have the Tuesday night marathon, so we got games going on in the evening. And then on weekends, usually there'll be some kind of event. We have either championship quads, FIDE rated events. We even have some one-day events occasionally, live Scholastic events as well. So there's a lot going on. So just go to the main chess page and you'll see all the offerings in its entirety. I'm putting the link in the chat. Mechanics is rocking right now. And for our bigger events and our TNM, we got the DGT boards. Then we have live commentary on the games. High tech, doing chess the right way at the Mechanics Institute. Giving the people
Black has
what
rookie
they
one
need.
check here. And needs to play it.
Oh,
Otherwise, white's threatening rook b7.
Okay, this was not nearly as good as rookie one check. But,
No, it's not. I
covers
don't
the
think.
threat.
But rookie one check was the move. This is losing all the kingside pawns.
yes.
This is terrible, I think.
Yeah, I think just did not see that rookie one. Aaron Craig, I won a game in 14 moves this round, but missed a forced mate on move 12. Move 12. Wow.
Is that like I shot a man in Dallas just to watch him die or something like that?
Was it Dallas? That's all.
I can't remember actually. Do you remember, Nick?
Um,
Was it
I
Houston?
don't,
Dallas? now I'm curious.
Rook d7 is fancy. Okay. Bye, great boomer. Thanks for hanging out.
Shot a man in Reno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reno. That's
Reno.
right.
Reno, right? Dimple Pitch in the chat said Reno. I had to look it up.
Yeah, Reno.
Oh, wow. Rook d7.
Yeah, I think black's in trouble here no matter what. Bishop d5 was a mistake.
There, yeah.
2 minutes each. So something could go wrong. So it's
It
hard
often
to-
does. It often does.
I mean, that's why we love watching, right? Because something goes wrong, falls apart.
Yeah, odd things happen in
But what-
matchup, but we
why-
have a pretty strong expert here.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say
as
that.
white.
White's a strong player, so I think they see this all the way.
All right, so black's
The milk crate challenge.
gonna meet rook c5 with what? Oh, with bishop f3, yeah.
Both players under 2 minutes. Final game.
Well, Rook D8, King B7, A5 is kind of mean. That's a mean approach. Very mean.
Oh, look, this time is ticking down.
So what about Rook C1 to C7? That looks pretty good too. Oh, then black can play Bishop F3. Yeah. Still probably losing.
Now this is simple, yes. Played the bishop, take the F.
Yeah, he could have done it last move, but
And that's pretty decisive. Just 2 pawns up.
yeah, this is black. Black should have guarded his second rank with rook, one of the rooks back to the second rank a long time ago, I think.
Yes. So how do you make it complicated? You can't really. It's pretty simple win. Pawn to G5, maybe.
Do you you have to save, you gotta save that H pawn, right? No.
Looks like it, yeah. So you're just 2 pawns down.
Well,
And the question, will all games played in round 1 be... Oh, yeah. So, Aaron Craig, yeah, if there's a rook left over, it's a little more difficult to win, even if you're a pawn ahead. Yeah, with no rooks on the board, straightforward, but not... the question from Proto Realist, will all games played in rounds 1-2 be viewable in chess.com? The answer is yes, because of our Google Sheet. So let me find that and put it in the chat. Because if you click on the link to our Google Sheet, you get the game links for all the games played. So
White's easily winning here now.
there you go. Just click that, and it'll take you where you need to go.
White's winning another pawn here, which is horrible.
And as Judith said, we do also download the games to PGN and put it up. Taryn is in the chat.
Taryn!
She says, "What up, Paul?" But she doesn't say, "What up, Nick? What up, Abel?"
Yeah. What up, Taryn?
You guys got more history. I got it, but still.
Well, Taryn knows Nick, knows us all here.
See, we get a mention, Abel. Thank you, Taryn.
All right, good. I mean, I was third in the order, but that's fine. She goes by seniority. I'm like least on seniority. Now, if there's 2 rooks on the board for each side, does it make it even more complex to win?
Yes. And White seems to be having maybe some issues with the time,
Yes.
which could make this exciting. Maybe there's problems with the internet connection.
No, the connection looks strong because you're able to tell with those bars that are next to the flag. So the net connection is strong.
It seems like White's kind of messing around here.
Should Black's strategy be
cheapos? Go for the cheapo.
Rook D2. Ooh. Yeah, that was a mistake there.
Black needs to go for the cheapo. Oh, yeah.
Just White's got to be
Now this is completely hopeless.
White's got to be careful that they don't accidentally repeat.
Or stalemate.
Or forget about the
The
time.
clock. Or forget to have a word with your ISP. This is so hopeless, though.
Yeah. White basically just simplified to keep it simple.
Rook e7 is a discouraging move for Black, who his king is cut completely off now.
Yes, and
White can
getting
just
more time.
make two pass pawns at his leisure. The king all the way cut off like that, Black can not hope. There's nothing to even hope for here.
And for newer players, with the rook being on that e-file, it cuts off Black from getting to the king side completely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Taryn, what's going on in your department of the Mechanics Institute?
New head librarian.
That's right. A new library director started this week. She says, "Don't ask."
Hopefully someone very nice.
Yeah.
I haven't met her.
I met her once when she was being interviewed. Seems excited. She used to be like the director of the Oakland Unified School District libraries, I believe, and she used to be a librarian at like the Juvenile Justice Center and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So kind of cool. Yeah, cool background. So she started this week. So we'll be seeing more of her. Our former library director, Deb, she's still around, and I think kind of showing her around and all that stuff. So,
Right.
oh wow, she went to graduate school with her. Taryn did.
Huh.
Interesting. And that's it. Game over. White
Yeah.
takes it.
Yeah.
And that is round 2 in the books. The standings will be updated shortly. And we will see how many 2 out of 2 we have. I think by rounds 3 and 4 next week, we should be seeing some tight battles with players. We're going to see title players mixing it up for sure by round 4.
Good. Well, Gadir, he needs a good challenge.
And I think he will have that next week and may get 2 rounds of it. So looking at the standings, for sure it'll happen because we have Gadir Guseyanov, Balachandra Dulapala, Ezra Chambers, Max Gidajlovic, and Shield Dandekar. The 5 players that are 2,000 plus are the only 2 out of 2. So they're gonna be playing next week. A Titan versus the Titan. Yeah, Gadir may have to not stir the sauce. Make sure he finishes the laundry ahead of
Gets
time.
his laundry done.
And so we should have some good action rounds 3 and 4 next week. So looking forward to that. So that is 2 rounds of the Thursday night marathon. We will be back next Thursday for rounds 3 and 4. Should be really exciting rounds. And don't forget, next week, round 1 of the Tuesday night marathon. Tuesday night, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific. We will have the broadcast games at 6:30. All kinds of chess action next week. And thank you everyone for following the show, watching the games, and thanks for checking in, Taryn. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah,
And
but yeah.
and
And remember, folks, always check it might be May.
always check. It might be me. And big shout out to Judith winning that game in fine fashion, surviving an onslaught to do it. So and while simultaneously directing the event. So fantastic. And guys, awesome. Great coverage as always. And we will see everyone next Tuesday. And I'm trying to see if there's someone we can raid. Because we haven't been raiding people lately. And we should probably do that. So let's see. I think Christian Chirilla is he's streaming right now. Let me see. The Count. Trying to see if the Count is live. And he is. And so is Chess Dojo. So you know what? Let's send you off to Chess Dojo because they are definitely friends. David Pruis is doing a lesson right now. So let's send you to the Chess Dojo with our good friends David Pruis and Kostya Kavutsky. And until then, we will see you on Tuesday night. Thank you, everyone.
Over and out.